There's a moment every strong one remembers, though nobody marked it with a name. It wasn't a birthday. It wasn't some milestone anyone celebrated or wrote down. It was the exact moment they quietly stopped being a child. And somehow, in that ordinary moment, nobody around them noticed a thing. Maybe it happened in a hallway, footsteps echoing louder than anyone's voice. Maybe it happened in a hospital room, waiting on news too heavy to hold. Or maybe it was a kitchen gone silent right after a door slammed shut. In that single instant, something inside them quietly shifted forever. A switch flipped inside a small body that never asked for this. A body that was never built to carry weight like this, yet somehow did. From that day forward, they became known as the calm one in the room. They became the reliable one, the person everyone quietly leaned on. They became the one who never fell apart, no matter what happened around them. Because someone, somewhere, always had to hold the room together. This is the psychology of the strong one, and it starts earlier than you think. And by now, you may realize you've been living inside this pattern for years. It almost never starts with an actual conversation between a parent and a child. No one sits a child down and formally hands them this responsibility. It happens quietly in small moments nobody thinks to question. Maybe it was a parent who simply couldn't cope with what life handed them. Maybe it was a sibling who needed protecting from something too big for them. Maybe it was a home where chaos lived louder than comfort ever could. The child watches everything. They absorb it, and quietly, they adjust. They learn to read a room before they can even read a full sentence. They learn that their own needs come second, third, sometimes never at all. And somewhere in all that learning, a role slowly hardens into identity. Psychologists actually have a name for this pattern: parentification. It's when a child quietly takes on responsibilities that were never meant to be theirs. It isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. Nobody frames it as a crisis. It's survival, simply dressed up and disguised as early maturity. Here's the part almost no one talks about. That strength never feels like strength inside. From the inside, it feels much closer to constant low-grade vigilance. It feels like scanning every face in a room, searching quietly for danger. It happens before you've had the chance to sit down and breathe. The nervous system of a strong one never fully learns how to rest, because once, resting actually meant that something important might fall apart. So they grow up into adults who instinctively overfunction at work day after day. Adults who instinctively apologize for simply needing a little bit of help. Adults who mistake constant exhaustion for something completely normal. They become the friend everyone instinctively calls the moment a crisis hits. Yet somehow, they're the one nobody ever thinks to check on. Their calm was never peace. It was years and years of quiet practice. So ask yourself, do you struggle to say, "I'm not okay," even to people who love you? Do you feel guilty resting, almost as if stillness has to be earned first? Do you keep attracting relationships where you're always the fixer, holding everyone together? None of this makes you flawed. These are simply learned adaptations. A brain that once had to grow up faster than it should have will keep protecting itself the only way it has ever known how to. And the very strength that once kept you safe can slowly become a wall that quietly keeps you from ever being fully known by anyone. But here is the part of this story that actually changes everything. The strength you built was real, and it deserves to be honored. It kept you alive through something that should never have been yours to carry. Real healing doesn't come from rejecting the strength that once protected you. It comes from finally, gently learning how to put some of that weight down. It means learning that needing support was never actually a form of failure. It means learning that softness was never the danger you once believed it was. You're allowed to be held sometimes, not only to be the one holding others. Recovery isn't about becoming someone new. It's about finally exhaling. If any part of this reached you, subscribe. We'll keep exploring what nobody explained to us growing up.